Alright, so, I guess first thing I'm going to get into is what materials you will need, what tools you will need, and what stage of the construction you can get all your models to be at before you start working on magnets. So first off, we're going to talk about get your tools all set up. First you're going to need some super glue. And just like in with my Hellbrute tutorial, you want a Citadel brush-on super glue thin. I don't know if that's actually what it's called or if that's just something that's labeled, but this is the stuff you want. Because the small magnets, the 1/8 and 1/16 magnets, this stuff glues it to plastic in a hole so nicely. And it fits and it's tough and it's strong, and this is the stuff you want. Don't worry about epoxy or any of that stuff, because that just causes some problems and messes. You will need a hobby knife. You will need, well, this one isn't really a need, but it's recommended, a pin drill. Now the pin drill can be 1/16 or it can be 1/32 drill bit. I don't know what the sizes would be in other countries that use metric or whatever, but you know, something really, really small. And this is just to get a pilot hole started for drilling. You will then need both a 1/8 and 1/16 drill bit. Now hopefully you can find better drilling implements than these bulky tools, because these are meant to be in a hand drill, which is not advisable for this small, fine, detailed work. You want something small to fit into a nice hand drill like this. So you want those drill bits and that glue. Now I'll get that started. The next is the stage of construction. Actually no, we're going to go to magnets. What kind of magnets do you need? For this particular job, you will want what's that? I just said it. 1/8 magnets, these big guys, and 1/16 magnets, these little tiny dudes at the end. Now these are going to be your magnets for the arms, the jump packs, the weapons, everything. I lost my package, so I can't show you the exact type or the exact brand. Now we're going to do the actual stage of construction. Now this is just my recommendation. This is not, you know, necessary. Actually, it's probably easier if you do this all before you even start gluing. But, you know, if you're compulsive like me and want to build it, for the Dreadnought, you can build to this stage. And all this really is that the legs are 100% constructed. All the parts are there. The little smokestack thing on its back is all built, and its torso is about 99% done. The only thing the torso is missing are the front plates, because the front plates are all going to be magnetized, so the front plates can remain by themselves. Next up are the close combat arms. Luckily there's enough parts that you can build the two of them all nice. I'm not magnetizing the weapons, so feel free to glue those on. But these arms can be 100% built, because these are going to be dry fit on, so we don't even have to magnetize the arms to the body. I went with a flamer and a melta for the weapon attachments. Put the armor plate there and the little sigil upside. The Magnet Grappler, which I have no idea what its purpose is in game, something about grenades or having frag and crack grenades. This is the stage you want to build it in. Now, sorry, kind of itching, scratching my nose. Now I kept this separate because technically it would sit right up there, but because of these grappler things, they kind of hinder the front plates sliding on and off nicely. So you can build it to this point, but don't actually attach it to the body. Just keep it separate, because that's going to be magnetizing, popping on and off as well. The grenade launcher, or frag grenade launcher, can be 100% built, as can the force weapon. Because there's enough parts to build all these options with little difficulty. The only difficulty really comes with the fists and the claws. The reason being is that there's only 8 of these finger crusher claw pieces, which would mean there's only enough to make the 2 fists. If you built the 2 fists first, you're going to realize that the claws will come, and the claws will be 1 thumb short. Now what I did, just to get around it, is I built the claws first, and put the thumb and glued it to the actual wrist. Also note that do not glue these on, because these are going to be magnetized and removable. So put the claws on, put the thumb. Now for the fists, the blood fists, I kind of cheated a little bit. That little doodad right there is just an extra piece of spur. Just an extra plastic from one of those that I just kind of shaved down into a tiny little nubbin of a thumb. And did that with both of them. Now looking at it by itself, you're thinking like, man, that looks so weird, but trust me, you probably didn't even notice it at a distance. And that's the stage of construction you can get the Dreadnought in. The Marines, you want to build to this stage. Now again, this is just my recommendation. This is not, you know, needed or 100% necessary, but you build the legs, the torso, and the head. And you can glue those all together, and then you can glue them to the base. Again, probably not doing it to the base because you're going to be holding this guy and drilling into him a lot. So you could probably get away with just having the body built, because that's really the only thing that we're going to be focusing on, is the drilling going into his back piece and his sides here. So you could probably build the torso by itself and leave the legs and head alone, and then do all that building later. That is also an option. The jump packs can be built to their full extent. The actual backpack itself is just one piece, so regardless. And then basically each weapon arm can be snipped free and then cleaned up of all the garbage spurs, because we can attach the shoulder pads on afterwards, so you don't actually need to glue the shoulder pads on in any real significant way. But yeah, this is the state you want your models to be in before you start drilling for all the little magnet pilot holes and get all the options going.